Okay, today I just wanted to make a short video to show you some of the herbs that I have in the garden here growing and used in my products. So they're all grown organically with no chemicals. First of all, here we have this nice mint. This is spearmint, so it doesn't have the strong menthol in it like peppermint does, so it's really good for children. It's good to calm the stomach. I use it in my digestive preparations and tonics. And it's good to clear the sinuses as well, especially if you're looking for something more gentle than peppermint. And then over here, this one's actually in flower at the moment, pretty purpley pink flowers. This is pelargonium. It's a type of geranium, but this one is really heavily scented. And this one's actually used in Europe now in cough syrups and preparations for bronchitis and pneumonia as well, so it's really useful for sinuses. You can mix it with rooibos tea and some syrup or honey, and it's really effective at helping sinus problems, of which there are a lot here because of the amount of dust in the winter and pollution. And it really is a powerful antiseptic for the lungs, so which of course is what you want when we have COVID around. It's actually been investigated in Germany quite recently as a treatment or a therapy to help those recovering from COVID. And I took much of this plant when I was sick with COVID myself. So I'll just take a walk around the back here. This is just some of my maize. I grow vegetables as well as herbs. Some of them aren't doing too well. Potatoes are struggling because of the heat. This one here is fennel. So I use this one in my digestive tonic as well. It's really gentle for the stomach and it's antiseptic again, and it's a carminative herb. So it relaxes the stomach and it stops the spasms that cause the pain as well. So this one's good for anybody with diarrhea and stomach cramps. And it's also used, it's one of the main ingredients in gripe water for babies. So babies can have this, but it needs to be drank as an infusion by the mother. So the baby will get it through the breast milk. And then when they're older, you can use it for colic as well. So the fennel is really well used and it's flowering as well at the moment. And the seeds are quite powerful as well. And then we have this is lemon mint here. I haven't started using this one yet, but I was just wanting to see if it would start growing. So it's doing well. The parsley is dead. Coming back there and round here. It's a bit of a mess. I'm in a yard in Soweto, so more maize here, doing really well. It was a bit flattened when we had the hailstorm. This one is obviously very poisonous but very beautiful, not in flower at the moment. It's an arum lily, and that's on our little Timmy's grave there. And then I have more fennel here as well. And the good thing about herbs which you take internally into the stomach is that there's a reflex reaction for the lungs. So anything that you drink will directly affect your lungs at the same time. So that's why if you drink medicines for coughs and colds, it's because it triggers a reflex reaction on the mucous membranes in your digestive system, and vice versa as well. So what you inhale can have an effect on your stomach. So we think of that a lot when I'm mixing my herbs. There's more fennel here, but also some thyme beginning to grow back now. Thyme is another powerful antiseptic, and we use it a lot as an expectorant for people with coughs. It's mild enough to use in children, although I would tend to use the pelargonium in children. I would tend to make it into a syrup so it tastes nicer to start with, and then that's the best way to get it into children. And again, it's really powerful for the respiratory system, for colds and flu, but normally we drink the thyme. So we take it as an infusion, made like a tea, and it's really, really powerful to get rid of coughs. So thyme can be sometimes the only thing that will work for some people. And I think that's nearly about it. Of course we have onions there, and my aloe vera is here, which is first aid for burns, as everyone knows, but also I use it in my products for people who've got sensitive skin or itchy and dry skin. It can be really, really soothing for many issues. Some people take it internally as well, especially to coat the stomach. If you've had a bad bout of diarrhea or digestive upset, the lining can get irritated of your stomach, so taking some juice from the aloe vera can coat it and allow it to recover, so other herbs can then come along as well. This is actually garlic I'm growing here. I was trying it out last year in South Africa because most of the garlic is imported here, but it is actually growing really well and it is forming cloves, so obviously the winter was cold enough. Here we have my seedlings, my tomato and pepper seedlings coming on now, and there's some carrots over there as well. I don't think I need to explain to you what this one is, but it isn't mine. And the only other one I want to show you is round the front, so we'll just take a walk round the front. Some rogue potatoes here that escaped from somewhere. The rosemary is kind of died off in the heat. Rosemary is very powerful action for the brain, for concentration and memory, and it's also antiseptic, and you can use it as a hair rinse to make your hair nice and shiny. It's really, really good as a conditioner, and it's also rosemary is a strong anti-inflammatory and circulatory stimulant, so it gets the blood pumping. Yes, sorry. It gets the blood pumping around the body, and it can warm up. So people who have poor circulation quite often take a mixture of ginger and rosemary, because it can stimulate the circulation and get it right to the extremities, to the toes and the fingers, to help warm up and to stimulate that circulation. And it's also important during an infection to get the white blood cells and the antibodies to the site of the infection. We need to trigger the stimulation then as well of the circulation, so it's useful for that. This one has been a bit run over. This is borage. It's an old herb which is also edible as well as medicinal, but we don't use it very much at the moment, so I'm waiting for it to recover. It has these beautiful blue purplish flowers, and this one's been used since very, very ancient times, and a lot more fennel. As you can see, fennel does well in our garden. And then over here we've got some red lettuces growing in there, and some more maize. It's that time of year. These are my rose bushes. So we've got the red ones and the white ones over there. Nice roses. A lot of things have gone to seed because of the heat right now. But yeah, there are still some roses, red roses on the bush here as well. Quite a windy day today. Over here I have my strawberries. I'm still in the process of trying to have babies. And my spinach at the back there, really useful food crop, because you can keep cutting it and it will grow back more and more and more each time, which is exactly what you want. And then round here is what I wanted to show you. There's a little bit more garlic there, and there's a plant here which is another variety of the one I wanted to show you, which is this one here. So this one I grew from a very small cutting, one leaf, and it took a few months, but then it really took off. You can kind of see I'm sat next to it now, how tall it is. So this is what's known in Tswana, locally here, as lengana, in Zulu, mtlonyane, and in English, African wormwood. So again, it's quite an old remedy. It's a bitter, so we use wormwood generally as a bitter for the stomach and the digestive system, and it helps to stimulate the appetite, and it gets any, if things are clogged up after constipation, or if there's been an infection in the digestive system, then lengana is really good for that. So as well as being antiseptic to kill off the infection, it's so bitter that it stimulates all the secretions that are needed to help you digest your food. So from the mouth, so we shouldn't really turn this one into a syrup because that defeats the object. If we want to use the bitter quality, then we need to take it as a bitter by mouth, by infusion, which is difficult to say the least, but it's a very powerful herb, and it will stimulate the salivary glands, and then it will stimulate your stomach acid and all of the enzymes that need to break down your food, and it will stimulate peristalsis, which is the movement of the food through the gut as well, and speed things up. So it really helps to get the digestive system going again. And it has, obviously the reflex reaction does work, so if you are sick with colds and flu, then this one will also help via the reflex action in the gut. So it will work on the lungs as well as an antiseptic, an antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. So a lot of people take this every single day as a preventative as well for many illnesses. There's another one similar to this, but I don't have it growing, that a lot of people take, and it's called moringa, and they make it into a powder, and it's almost a super herb. It's basically a nutritive because it just contains so many nutrients just in a tiny amount of plant, and you can add it to literally anything. So it's really good as a nutritive for when you're recovering and convalescing from illness and you need extra nutrients, or when you're trying to prevent COVID or recover from COVID. But yeah, this one here, lengana, its Latin name is Artemisia afra. Artemisia is the genus name, so there is a European wormwood as well, and Afra for Africa. So that's how it looks, and you can take cuttings really easily, plant them in any soil, and then it will grow. So there you go, I just wanted to give you a quick tour of our herbs. Hope that was helpful.